Hi everybody, welcome to the Sports Show. Hope you can stay with us for the next hour. Great to be back in the chair. Had a couple of weekends up in Brisbane where it was nice and sunny. And as always, Barry Curtin joins me. Baz, how are you?
Good, mate. Good. Cold.
It is a bit cold.
Yeah, well,
I came back at 27, mate, with shorts and T-shirt. And I woke up this morning, a lovely 4 degrees. I thought, what's happened?
Well, we were pretty happy that you were up there while we were down here in the cold. We looked after you in the show. We hope you were having a good time. And
you and your co-partner, who were with Ando, were bucketing the living bejeebus out of me, mate. And I don't doubt that for a minute. Hey, mate, while we're talking about things happening off air, a lot of retirements just starting to happen now in the AFL. We just saw Trent Cotchin obviously announced earlier that he'd retired. Now Jack Riewold's come out this week saying he's retired. Gee, that's two big triple premiership players out of a team that's, you know, it's time for them to go, clearly.
Yeah, it is, no doubts with Jack.
But hard to replace their leadership.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely it is.
I know in 2016 that both of them, you know, were playing and probably a little bit more stats conscious than team conscious, and all of a sudden decided, hey, we've probably got 6 or 7 years left here. We need to lead the way. Yeah. And both of them, Trent became an outstanding leader, as did Jack. Yeah. And it's not a coincidence over the next 6 or 7 years. There's 3 premierships involved in that. Yeah. I'm just not sure how you take that now and replace it. Well, you know, I know that players have been learning from them, but I don't know that you can teach some of those skills. Some of it's an inner thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they chart the next couple of years.
Well, Trent Cotchin is a big one to me because in 2016 I can recall teams saying that he's the worst captain in the AFL.
Gone from the worst to the best. Gee, I'll tell you what,
and his improvement as a leader and a player in later on in it was unbelievable.
His speech in leaving, you know, is to the group, you know, some things stay the same, some things change, was just fantastic.
So who stands up, Phil? Because if you look at the Richmond side right now, who stands up to replace Cotchin and Riewoldt? Who are the 2 players in there that can go to another level? Because Dusty's just he's heading up there. He's up there.
He's got that aura.
I don't know whether he's got that leader stuff in him.
Well, I think he's capable. I think he could do it.
Is it too late
He'd do
for
it in
him
a different way, but he's got an aura about him that he could bring it and take it a different way without doubt. Yeah. You know, if Basher Hurley was there, that was the other one. You look at Basher and you go, wow, that's kind of another guy where you think, I don't know their group well enough to make an accurate comment on who that might be. And I'm sure they've been grooming someone because they know that it's happening. Yeah. So I'm sure they have been. I'm just, even if you're grooming though, it's just a big loss. It's like Selwood leaving Geelong last year. You know, I call them the irreplaceables. Yeah. They're people that take time to replace. You can't just go, soldier down, soldier up. Yeah. It's a few years before you unearth that. And I think the same thing with West Coast. Nick Natanui announced his retirement. Yeah. Such a super player. Yeah. He's an irreplaceable. You can't go, oh, we can replace him. Yeah. You can't. It's like they're a Wayne Carey type. They're a Selwood type, an Ablett type. They come along once in a decade. Yeah, and that's so true. You have to structure things differently. It's just, I mean, they've given us so much through their time. Yeah. And then they go and you go, it's sad to see him go, even though it was time. Well, I think we'll see a few more before this month's out.
We will. I had a good look at the Richmond list, and when you get no Cotchin, no Riewoldt, to see who would be that next one. And it's a difficult one, mate. No, it's a difficult one. It's really difficult because there's no one that really just goes boom and jumps out and go, oh yeah, I forgot about him. He could be the captain. Whatever. This is a real tough one. Richmond are in a little bit of bother. From where I sit, they're in a bit of bother.
I agree with you. In the club you love, you know, when Boak got talked about, I think Kane Corn said was the worst captain. I think it was a comment that he made at one stage that he wasn't a very good captain and certainly been proved wrong. But you go, who did Port have at the time? Now they've got some, but if it had been 3 or 4 years ago, you go, not quite ready. So I think they're grooming them, but they just take, then you've got to get into the seat, and then it takes a year or 2 from there. So it's not as simple as Curtin goes out and Smythe comes in and we've got a better captain. They'll be different, but it will take time. Yeah. So, but I think when that happens, you drop a little bit. Yeah. You know,
because what you're saying is right. But Boak was a really interesting one because towards the end of his time, he had no one to really show him the way with leadership. He thought that everything he did, he had to be absolutely perfect.
I think he was right.
It's a very difficult thing to do. Matter of fact, it's impossible to do.
He did a pretty good job.
He did a pretty good job, mate, but it affected him mentally. He had to give the game away. He had to give the captaincy away. Yes. The conversation, I think it was end of 2018 or around about then.
It's a high-pressure job.
Where he said to Ken, I think maybe it's time. But that was mentally draining to Travis Boak. Absolutely draining. So it's not an easy thing to do, is it? To come up,
it's not. That's
and
what
be
I'm
the
saying.
captain.
I think eventually they're different, and they change the dynamics of the group, and it takes a year or two, and then they start to move again. So I think we're seeing co-captains come in a little bit now because the job's becoming so big. I think there's something in that now, whereas before the traditionalists would go, oh no, you just have one captain. You go, it's not just on the ground, but now the pace of the ground too, the way the players move and swarm up and down the ground. Something's happening in the forward line, the captain's down there. Well, the midfielder's got, who's putting it through here? But it's off ground that the pressures have mounted as the game's exploded. The demands on the captain to, we need you at this function, we need you at that function, we need you to talk at this, we need you to talk at that. It's impossible for one person to do it.
Do you know, I made a point that with Travis Boak that when he was captain of the club, I could ring Travis Boak up during the week and say, hey mate, Phil Smythe's pulled out of Talking Footy on Thursday night, would you be able to? And he would come in.
Yes.
Now, I never thought anything of that. I just thought, what a great guy he is, a great captain. But boy, the pressure on him, you don't think about those things. But I think one of the reasons Port went for co-captains, which was against the grain at Alberton, I tell you, and against the grain, was because of the mental strain it had on Travis Boak.
I don't doubt it.
And I think that's why they had the two captains.
I don't doubt it.
So Richmond have got a bit of an issue, I think.
I think they have. I think a few clubs are going to start to go more down that line. Whether you look at, we have one of the captain deals with all the media and the other captain deals with the players. I don't think it'll be quite that. I think they'll split it and go, each can help each other. I think we'll stay tuned. Hey, we've got to get rolling. Plenty coming up on the show. I want to have a chat about the Matildas, of course, which have totally gripped our nation.
Have they ever?
And it has been spectacular. So stay with us. Still, plenty to come on the show.